From asking me to marry her over text to accusing me of the most heinous crimes.
Pissed off at the asshole who went after my kid. Caleb, you're a asshole. Saying it right here publicly. You're an asshole and you're not a Christian. Went after a little boy.
Over a dozen fake Facebook accounts, Instagrams, YouTube handles, and TikToks. This video will show how to prove stalking. In 2 months, I got some peace and quiet. I'm at my job. I'm working. I'm not on night shifts anymore. And just got my day started. This is October 19th, same year, 2022. I get a bloop, and it's from Stephanie. And it's from an Instagram. And it says, "Hey, Caleb, I'm sending this for myself. I wanted to share that I don't think we should have had drinks together. When we hung out, I was vulnerable and in a rough place. I don't hold offense or anger towards how that unfolded. I think I genuinely regretted things in the morning because I wouldn't have crossed those boundaries if I hadn't drank so much." Okay, so she's saying she crossed boundaries because she drank too much, even though the real boundary we crossed was the next day when she was stone cold sober, right? I don't think he had the ability to see why it had upset me, but I was also fully accountable to how I presented myself, my actions, and the amount I had drank and everything following. I recall you only had one beer that night. I'll take her word for it. I had like one drink, right? I didn't send this for a response. Get used to that, by the way. She says that a lot. I'm just saying I forgive the situation, and I don't hold shame towards it. I just won't/don't put myself in positions like that anymore. I felt like you had read me that night, and some experiences I had went through, and after within 2 days you had hated me, and they were used against me. That was difficult in the context we had met at a Bible study. But I forgive the situation. I forgive myself. And more importantly, I don't let how someone treated me define me. It was a mistake, and I regret having drank and allowing myself to get into that place. I stopped drinking. The guilt of that happening and several other things made me realize I didn't want to wake up in the morning feeling like trash, used, or hurt. I had too much going on, and I still do. I pray you can see that clearly, gain more healing in your own life, and there's no hard feelings. Steph. Okay. I can't lie. Pretty crappy of her, right? Putting it all on me. Especially in the context of what I described to y'all. I was pretty mad after hearing this. I ain't gonna lie to you. Her Instagram was blocked. So next thing to do was to use her Facebook. So she found me on Facebook, and she sent me a Word document, but then she went ahead and kind of copied the text in the document and then just messaged it to me. So I have both, but I'm just going to go ahead and read you the Word documents. To be fair, this did seem like a genuine apology, okay? I'm just going to say that right out the gate. I think she was genuinely trying to take accountability and to say she was sorry. And I wrestled with it for a couple days. One, because I was at Disney World, so I didn't want to deal with it. So I get this. I read it, but I don't respond right away. And I'm also asking my family, should I respond back? I asked Darcy. Darcy says, yeah, you should respond back. I'm hesitant because she lost my number. Otherwise, she would have texted me all this. And I think she switched phones at the time as well. So she lost my number. So I was like, do I want to give her my number and potentially open the floodgates again? Not really. So I just kind of decide I'm going to ignore it. In fact, that was counter to what everyone else is telling me. Everyone else is telling me to message her back. Hey, she's being genuine, message her back. But I couldn't stop thinking about that we had messaged before, how just mean she was, how cold she was. So in all fairness, I didn't want to open that can of worms back up. I believe he had good intentions that night and wanted to take me out and essentially be a good guy. It was a poor choice on both of our parts. It was an easy one to make because I naturally felt drawn to you, and not in this like weird manner. I genuinely did feel a sense of connection. Like when you're in a room and you just kind of feel safe. And yet I know your heart intentions were pure. And so I was like, okay, so I'm either hearing from God or I'm a psycho. Kidding, but also not. Let's go with the second one. I'll take B. I believe you are a good person. I believe you have so much to offer, and I actually enjoyed that time. I hate that it was destroyed, and I was angry about it. And I hope it's not stupid. God, this is going on forever. Not because I didn't find you attractive or like you as a person. I did. Thanks, right? But At the same time, I was like, I don't want to open this can of worms again. I know how bad it can be. And I guess she has moments where she's nice, but I was like, there's something still keeping me from texting her or messaging her back. I don't want this to start over. It was not an easy call. Maybe that's going to be controversial, but I decided I'm not going to respond back. And everyone else told me differently, but I had a feeling. And I personally, now today, glad I did not listen to them because I was right. So nothing happens. I didn't say anything. I ignored it. I didn't block her, just left her alone. Nice apology. Maybe by ignoring it, she has her answer, right? By not saying anything, we're good. But she wasn't happy with that. Every day I post a meme. She commented on one of those memes with that account. She says, I'm just commenting to see if my message went to some random box you didn't see. Laugh emoji, weird smile emoji. She's wondering why I didn't respond back, right? Because I guess she thought she worded it so well. How could I not respond? It said, I don't remember what the meme was. I'm going to be honest with you. This is something I shared that she commented me when I'm left on red. And then I post this. She kind of doxes where I work. And then she says, God bless your soul. I post this meme here, how to accept your failures. And it's a guy thumbing up, right? Remember one day the sun will explode. And then she comments, like me, getting left on red. So if you haven't noticed something here, when you ignore her, she blows up your stuff again until you try to respond. She says, I didn't send this for a response. She'll say, I don't need you to reply to this. She'll say, this is the last time I'm messaging you. She'll say, I'm sending this for myself. But she doesn't mean it, does she? These are all separate memes on separate days. You'll start to notice that, hey, she's sending this for herself so she can get closure. But if you don't accept it, then I'm just going to keep poking you until you acknowledge me. Later on, January 30th, I don't know what the meme was, but I posted a meme. It says something like, name something you did as a kid that's now obsolete, right? Or something like that. She says, going to the park every day at like 7 years old when it was safe and think you can only get murdered by people that drove white vans. Also, like, you can check your messages. So I checked my messages and I didn't see anything new. What could she have sent to me that she's talking about? Well, I did notice that she deleted her apology. She's only sorry if I respond back to her, I suppose. Seems a little petty, but, you know, she's sending it for herself. What do I know about her self-healing, right? January 2023, same month. Here's what happened. I did check my messages like she asked, and I didn't actually open up her account for the messages. She had sent me voice messages. Facebook didn't tell me she sent me voice messages. So when I opened up my general inbox, I didn't show that I had anything new from her. Nothing. So I was like, okay, I don't know what she's talking about, but cool. That's fine. Just whatever. I don't care. I wish she'd quit blowing up my stuff, but she's still doing it. Well, I get a notification that same day. She tagged me in a post she made, and she says, y'all, Facebook put me in Facebook jail for spam. I'm going to give the hilarious backstory when I'm not in Facebook jail. Like, doesn't Facebook know I have group to run and justice to uphold? Oh, she says, I feel like I was just sent to ISIS, and this is boring. I don't know what you're talking about. Facebook jail is not ISIS. Friends fasting in our group. I'm still fasting. Prayed all morning until like 12. Time to work and spend time with Jesus. I'll tell you what broke the camel's back in a video and laugh about this one day. Then she tags me and says, lame. Now wait, Caleb, you might be asking. What do you mean you put her in Facebook jail? What did you do? Turns out nothing. Turns out Facebook noticed she was spamming me and that I wasn't opening her messages, wasn't responding. She's blowing up on my comments, right? The random memes. Facebook decided it was being a bro and it locked her up. I don't know what restrictions were put on her account, but she self-admitted that it flagged her for spam. She thinks I reported her account and got it locked. So she's not happy about it, right? This is where I really started to notice that something was kind of off about this person, right? She posts this and she tags me in it. I'm on the phone with Darcy because we're snowed in, right? And I was like, oh, crap. Stephanie messaged me again. Me and Darcy are laughing because this is hilarious. I had nothing to do with her being in Facebook jail. Facebook independently flagged her for spam, so I have Zuckerberg to thank for that. I also don't know what she messaged me because, again, I didn't know voicemails don't show up unless you open up the whole inbox and like go through it. So I didn't know what she was talking about. So then I checked the post again as we're laughing about it, and then I noticed, wait a minute, this post looks different. Added a paragraph to the bottom. But y'all know what? I'm shocked Facebook has never put me in jail sooner. They put up with me for a while. Okay, then she's laughing. Wink, laugh. By the way, this is important. Don't reply. If you're trying to build a case, do not reply to this person. Do not respond back. The police will say they want evidence of you, oh, tell her to leave and she won't leave you alone. It helps build a case that you've asked to be left alone. Then she tags me again, says #lame. At Caleb, got the sign I asked for. Sign, I thought to myself, what is she talking about? Okay, so what sign are you looking for about me, huh? Then she updates again. We all know what? I'm shocked Facebook has never put me in jail sooner. Lame, lame, lame in all caps. #silent women never made history. And they don't get sent to boring Facebook jail. #why with 50 Ys for no reason. Girls, your future husbands will bail you out of jail, not put you in Facebook jail. Laugh emoji, we are taking communion with this one. Hold on, future husbands? I'm still confused. I have no idea what the heck she's talking about. But I'm starting to get a clue. What were in those messages she sent me? #can't stop laughing. She took out the husband part. That's weird. Okay. Updated it again. #def the most embarrassing thing thus far this 2023. Okay, this is January, the following year when we first met. I'm not sure if I'm mad or if this is funny. And post, husbands don't put their wives in jail, they bail them out. Yes, even Facebook jail. I'm embarrassed and I think that I've died. And then all these emojis. Then she deletes those comments, the flags. She comments again, I'm never speaking to you after this. And then some weird gif of, thank you for letting me know. I don't know what you're talking about. She comments with that friend again. The only thing that's working on my Facebook is our fasting prayer group on Messenger. None of my other messages on Messenger will go through. Can't stop God. Keep in mind, I'm ignoring her still. Me and Darcy are laughing because every time we refresh this post, it changes. She comments under the same meme where it talks about how to accept your mistakes. She says, how to accept them, don't repeat them. Then she comments a screenshot. What's in the screenshot? This is from her prayer group that she mentioned earlier. She says, don't tell dumb boys you think they're your husband, especially if they ignore you and only post memes. All right, so let me just go ahead and cut to the chase. Apparently, God told her I'm her husband. And that magic message that I still couldn't find, by the way, because I think she ended up deleting it by the time I realized what I told you about Facebook voicemails, that God told her that I'm her husband and that I'm the one that she's supposed to be with. That blew my mind. I've had people in our church go to women and say, God told me we're supposed to be married. And rightfully so, most of them, not all of them, but most of them are pretty creeped out by it because I think that's very manipulative. I think that it doesn't happen that often. Very skeptical when somebody says that does happen. But, I think if it does happen, you don't tell the other person. If I had seen that recording, I would not have believed it. I would have said, I don't think that was God. I don't think you're hearing from him. I think you're hearing things. She screenshots another one. Girl, I can't message anyone besides our prayer group. He reported me, then posted. Oh, okay, so she's talking about potatoes now, right? Okay, so here's what happened. Me and Darcy were laughing and giggling, and I was still ignoring her. And I said, what would really make her mad is if I kept ignoring her and posted something else. Well, I posted a meme about potatoes, and lo and behold, she took the bait. And she goes, he reported me, then posted about potatoes. She meant to say then, but she put that. This is like pathetic with like 8 C's. Yes, strategy. The enemy had me unfocused, going into intercession for us, then working in an hour. She doesn't work. She's lying. Somebody commented, he reported you. And then she goes, on a more serious note, I do believe praying for strategy is wise. So she's like, oh, that sucks. And it went on about a different conversation. And she's still not letting it go. She's screenshotting her messages with other women and sending them to my Facebook, I guess, to try to make me feel bad. But I was laughing. Here's said meme about potatoes, which Darcy was very nice to leave a gif of another potato. And then Stephanie said, this isn't funny. I had like 10 conversations going, Caleb. Then she screenshotted something else she posted. This is another Facebook thread, I guess. And this is a post she made. Mundane money. Guys, there's something either funny, relaxing, or dumb that happened today. I'll go first. I got put in Facebook jail for telling a guy I think he's my husband. Disclaimer. I do not think he is my husband after all. All right, so confirmed. She messaged me saying I'm her husband, which is weird because God didn't tell me that. Also, I don't like you that much. Then she tags me again and says, a man wouldn't do that. A man would address something, not put someone in Facebook jail. Then Darcy comes in and starts commenting and saying, maybe it's a problem with Facebook, not that anyone reported you, because I reported people for things and it automatically blocks them after, right? Well, I didn't block Stephanie, so she's still able to see my stuff. So if I reported her, it would have blocked her, but it didn't, because I didn't. I can only send messages to my fasting group, ironically thanks to God's covering. Yeah, God went in there and hacked Facebook for you. No one else would report me, primarily because there's no one else I send a lot of messages to without a response, and it had to do with spam for clarification, but I get the memo. So this is so dumb. I feel like this is something that happens when you're in high school. It's fine. We don't have to address it. People have free will. That'd be nice if you just let me, live in my free will. And then she updated that comment and says, it's fine. We don't have to address it. People have free will. Would have def appreciated not being ignored. But like one of my messages was a sign in quotes. I got one pretty bold and clear, laugh emoji. And she comments again, tagging Darcy. Hi, Facebook. Didn't mean to spam this guy, but he kept on ignoring me. And I thought God wanted me to message him, but it went wrong. Now this is embarrassing and pathetic. So let me message my friends about it because totally shot my pride down. Thanks. He ain't bothered in posting memes. Steph. But you can totally give me a shout and I'll tell him I hate being ignored. Tagging Darcy again. All right, so Darcy was able to convince her that it wasn't me. So immediately she found out that, hey, Caleb didn't do this because he's not a jerk. So she deleted everything, and that was that. Okay, so this was such a bizarre thing to me. So I was like, I think I was right. I'm glad I didn't give her my number back in December of the previous year. So I'm just going to forget it. By the way, that Facebook was blocked, right? Because she publicly tried to embarrass me and publicly tried to humiliate me. February 15th, 2023. Quite a few months after I met her. I think we're at 6 months at this point. Hey, Caleb, this is the last message I'm sending you because I don't know if Darcy, actually copied anything I sent over. I feel like I wasn't able to share how I felt, and I can't really handle not having the ability to share it because I'm blocked. I couldn't settle not being able to talk about things, and honestly, I just need to do it for myself and for you. First, I want to say, when we met, I was struggling a lot. If you chose to exploit that for gain, that's a choice. So now we're switching to you exploited that for gain. I'm not trying to defend myself because I have pretty poor impulse control after all this trauma documented. Laugh, shrug emoji. So she's referring to the impulse control of blowing up my Facebook for no reason. And I also spent months praying for you in my journal, aloud, etc. And I feel like God had told me to. To be extremely honest, it is difficult to wrestle with the fact that I hadn't moved forward, and I felt like I just engulfed your ego. I'm pretty wrecked, and it's really only something I can go to God with. Please do that. Go to God. Stop talking to me about it. But the fact is, you told me no one had ever loved me, got close to me, and after it walked away and made me feel terrible. Okay, what is she talking about, you ask? Remember at the beginning of this when I said I threw out a random nice guy statement of, I just don't think you met the right guy, or I just don't think anyone's ever loved you before. I didn't think much when I said that. I didn't know 6 months later she'd come back with, you're my husband. You told me no one had ever loved me. I don't know what she's talking about. I was really nice to her for no reason. No reason, because she's been awful to me. I understand you felt scared, hurt, whatever you felt through religiosity. I don't think it's a word. I don't know why, but I feel a little betrayed. I've had sexual relations before, and none of them left such a lasting impact. Okay, I'm sorry, let me pause here for a sec. She has had sexual relations before, none of them left such a lasting impact. You had a son with another man. You and I never slept together. How does what you did to me, yes, I'm saying what you did to me because I said no 80 times before you forced yourself on me. How did that have a lasting impact on you? You literally had a kid with another person. We never slept together. You borderline assaulted me, and you're the one with the lasting impact. I believe God would operate in addressing it. So she's trying to use religion to get me to respond back to her. I think God would operate in addressing this. I would have honestly respected you more had you given me the time of day instead of going to 5 other women. When she says 5 other women, Darcy told her when I was trying to decide whether or not to talk to her back in December of the previous year after she messaged me at Disney World, I didn't know what to do. So I went to a bunch of other women who could give me some perspective. That's what you're supposed to do when you don't know what to do. You're supposed to ask for help. You're not supposed to just assume you know everything. So that's what I did. I went to other people, other women, my mother, Darcy, some other close friends, a couple guys, but I'm allowed to do that. I'm allowed to ask for help instead of going to 5 other women. Why proves my next point. I couldn't be with anyone who ruthlessly handled my emotions. I'm sorry that we crossed that line. I really am. But I don't know if you're sorry for my pain. Your actions scream you don't care. I think about this too much, and I just had a huge moment with the Lord where I've just prayed for you, and yet in so many ways you absolutely scare me. Because even if something was there, I see a train wreck waiting to happen, and it wasn't my job to seek out or pursue. If you had cared/wanted to deal with this with me, you would. I never meant to hurt you. I was in the worst pain of my life, and by the grace of God, I'm getting out of it. I just wish you actually cared for my emotions. What I wanted to share with you that I can't because you won't even talk to me is that I really did see you and care. I didn't act like it because my trust felt broken, but in a way, I was manipulative and played myself. There's beauty when we can admit our faults. That's huge to me. Not to be exploited, but because I care, and I would have appreciated the same. And to me, it's like a form of emotional abuse. You hear that, guys? Me not responding to her crazy, weird, psycho Jesus text message proposal is emotional abuse. I'm torn because I do see you, and underneath all of you, in parentheses, like mannish stuff that freaks me out. I'm the I don't know what to say, guys. I'm a fat, almost middle-aged man. I don't know what manly she's talking about. She's talking about my tattoos. I was so hurt and just literally watching my world fall apart. I prayed for you. Look how long this message is, guys. I'm still reading. Oh my God. I prayed for you. I was very specific in asking God to make clear who my partner is. And I can tell you he'd walk with me through this, not ignore it. I'm sorry for your hurt, but I pray God can actually show you how deep this cut for me. And you can acknowledge that one day. I changed my number, but I'm certain if you wanted to, we would have talked about it. I'm sorry you got a bad side of me, but between us both, I wanted to redeem that, and yet I know you don't. You're someone I wanted to trust, but I'm so sensitive, and you're like not even aware of what I'm going through. And I just know if I love deeply and tenderly, I genuinely would need someone able to reason and understand my emotions, and who would care for them. That wasn't out of nowhere. One way to honor me would have been talking to me. I couldn't be with a man who went to 5 women but wouldn't give me the time of day. Look at the emotional manipulation here, guys. This is, I'd even put religious abuse here because she's trying to use God. She's trying to use all this emotional, you hurt me. Please talk to me. God said you're my husband and you're ignoring God. God would have dealt with this. Manipulation on this is ridiculous. I'm confident that God, if you're so concerned with what God would say about my behavior, what would God say about you blowing up my Facebook, blowing up my Instagram, me blocking those, you making fake accounts, you going to people that I know and messaging them and trying to embarrass me in front of other people? What do you think God would say about that? It's not my job to chase after someone. So you admit you're chasing after me. I'm becoming more increasingly aware of my need for order and someone who operates in listening to the Holy Spirit and really prays into things. And I know just with the interaction we've had, I would really struggle to submit to someone who didn't operate in gentleness or processing my hurts. I genuinely need someone to just walk through not just my own trauma, but the seeing through the eyes of the Father. I don't know what she's trying to tell me. She keeps trying to tell me I need someone who will deal with me, handle me with care, and how I'm not any of those things. But this goes on for a very long time, guys. God, I think I give up reading this. There were still 8 more screenshots, dudes. Guys, this is still, believe it or freaking not, just the tip of the iceberg. I don't even think I'm halfway through this freaking story, dudes. So I'm going to end today's recording here. I'll be back, and we're going to talk about the next part of this, which could also take a long time. But we're here for it because this is me getting it off my chest and finally getting to say what I want to say about this. So I hope you guys were following along with that because there's a lot. So I'll see you guys next time.